Fridays with Geraldo segment tonight. Most journalists agree that the Rolling Stone writer who did in General McChrystal did not do anything wrong journalistically. The man, Michael Hastings, a far-left guy, as we said, and the general was very foolish to let him into his inner circle. But Fox News anchor Geraldo Rivera dissents on the journalism front, saying Hastings was wrong for printing provocative quotes from McChrystal and his staff. Geraldo joins us now from upstate New York. Let's get to the war of journalism here. You know, I'm trying to put myself in Hastings' position. If I'm there and I'm in a bar and McChrystal and his guys are spouting off about Biden and being a moron and all these other things, and it's not off the record, Geraldo, you know that when you allow a journalist in, you say, look, this is on the record, this is off the record. But if it's not off the record, I mean, you know, I'm writing it down. You're not?
You know, Bill, this is a situation where you have to put it in the context of war and warriors and honor and the penumbra of privacy that is presumed when it's not on the record specifically. When you're hanging out at a bar waiting for a plane or a train or an automobile and you're stuck together hours and hours and you're drinking in a bar or you're at an airport lounge, this is not an interview context. These guys, particularly the staffers who gave the most damning statements about the civilians in office, including the Vice President of the United States, these guys had no idea that they were being interviewed by this guy.
I'm not sure about that,
This reporter, wait, hold on, Bill. This reporter from Rolling Stone, he was a rat in an eagle's nest. What he did was to become part of the background, part of the scenery, knowing full well, given his political ideology,
well, let's walk through
and
this.
everything else, his attitude, he knew what he wanted to do.
Okay,
and
I'm not disputing. I'm not disputing.
This was not a 280 hitter. General Stanley McChrystal is no 280 hitter. If General Petraeus is Babe Ruth, and I agree with that analogy, General Stanley McChrystal is Lou Gehrig. He led our
Lou
special
Gehrig,
operators.
Babe Ruth.
He's been deployed more than any fighting general, and I really am so
Geraldo,
sick over this.
All right, take a deep breath. All right, you got to walk with me through this interview, okay? Calm down. Number one, I agree with you that Hastings is a hatchet man. All right, all you got to do is look at what he's done in the past. Rolling Stone is a hatchet operation. They hatcheted me. I was stupid enough to let a reporter named Colapinto follow me around, and he gave me a line of BS, and he hatcheted me. But I also told Colapinto what was on and off the record, what he could and could not do. Now, I'm in a business, so I know. So I'm not saying that Hastings did anything wrong. I'm not going to... Is he a rat? Yeah, he's a rat. But did he do anything wrong? I don't know. But you can't explain to me, I don't think you can, why a guy as smart as McChrystal, been around a long time, position of power, knows what the press is. They even said that he turned Fox News off in his offices because he's a liberal guy, McChrystal. So he knows what the press is. Why he would even allow this guy to be around, Geraldo? Why would he even allow him to be around?
I want to be very clear about this, Bill. The President of the United States was totally within his constitutional right and power to dismiss or accept the resignation of General Stanley McChrystal because it was a lapse in judgment for General McChrystal to let this person that close to him. But I have to go back to my principal point. When someone who works for the general commanding the war front in Afghanistan mocks the Vice President of the United States, calling Joe Biden "bite me," that reporter knows that that statement, if it becomes public, has strategic significance, that the president would be forced to do what he did unless he was magnanimous beyond belief.
That's what Rolling Stone wanted.
My point, Bill, is when it is a strategic issue like that, something of that import to your country, damn it, then you have an obligation to say, was that on the record? Do you really want to say that?
Right.
You have to put it in context.
But
let me give you an analogy
coming at it
that
from
is
an
even
ethical
far beyond the rat.
You're coming at it from an ethical
Let me go beyond the rat in the eagle's nest. 2 days before 9/11, 2 al-Qaeda terrorists posing as journalists got up to Sheikh Massoud, our most valuable ally in Afghanistan. They blew themselves and Sheikh Massoud up, a tremendous setback. I maintain, historically, that the removal of General McChrystal at the hands of this freelance reporter for Rolling Stone has almost comparable strategic significance. This was a major deal, and to do it under those rules, where you have to admit your third gin and tonic, you're frustrated, you're waiting for the volcanic ash to clear, everybody is on their most relaxed behavior, to get a statement, an utterance like that, an utterance from not the general himself, but by one of his over-eager macho staffers, is something that you have an obligation, and an honorable obligation, to check out before you rush to the press, knowing that what you have done is removing a fine soldier who has risked his life for his country time and time again.
I got it, Geraldo, we got it. And I only have 30 seconds here. Rolling Stone says it ran the quotes by McChrystal. You believe that?
If they say they did, I know Jan Wiener. I assume that is true. I have to take him at his word. And I have to honor General McChrystal for not trying to sleaze away.
All right.